Hello and welcome to the big picture. For the first time after the BJP-led NDA government came to power 10 months back, the BJP is holding its national executive meeting in Bangalore. The meeting is expected to provide the roadmap for the party as well as the government. The party, which had been out of power for 10 years, now has to recalibrate itself in the context of it being in power. The balance to be worked out between the party organization and the government will be one of the challenging tasks. It is also evident that the party has made the generational change, with its erstwhile leadership taking the back seat. How this change will affect the party functioning also will be watched. Meanwhile, the government is keen to use the party apparatus not only to push through its achievements and plans, but also to defend it against the attacks which it has been subjected to lately. We will discuss today the importance of the ongoing meeting, its impact and the possible outcome. To discuss this, I have with me Professor Purushottam Agarwal, political analyst, Professor Jagdish Shettigar, economist and former national executive member of the BJP, who is no more in the party, Rakesh Singh, Director, India Policy Foundation and a RSS member, Nilab Mishra, Editor, Hindi Outlook, and my colleague Shyam Sundar, who is in Bangalore covering the meeting on the phone line. Welcome to all of you. Shyam, what has happened so far and what is likely to happen in the next, today and tomorrow?
Well, as far as today's meeting is concerned, one resolution on foreign policy was presented by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and in this resolution, BJP has claimed that after BJP came to power, perception about India has changed, and foreign investment is coming to India. And in this resolution, they also mentioned the Make in India campaign, which was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So they claim that during UPA regime, the relations with even neighbors were not very good. But after the took over as Prime Minister, he visited from Bhutan to US, and everywhere he is welcomed. And now India's cloud is rising like everything, and all the things are looking towards India, and they are ready to invest. So they claim that atmosphere has changed as far as international world is concerned.
Okay, Shyam, there is a lot of disturbance behind you. I'm sure you're in the public meeting where the Prime Minister is expected to... okay, I'll talk to you later. Please see if you can be somewhere where there's not much noise behind you. Dr. Jagdish Shettigar, is it unusual that, national executive meetings of the party doesn't take place for 10 months?
No, I'm not in a position to say for what was the reason.
No, no, I'm not talking the reason. What is the normal periodicity?
So, earlier the meeting used to take place once in 3 months. That is at least 4 meetings in a year. But there are certain exceptions. But by and large, it used to take place once in 3 months. So only after, I think, Gadkari taking over, probably the frequency has come down. This, of course, it's...
Gadkari taking over. After that, Amit Shah took over.
Now Amit Shah. Amit Shah, after taking over, as far as I know, I think this is the first meeting.
After the government has come to power.
Yeah, first meeting and all this.
So, do you find it unusual?
Unusual, let's say, after all, the national executive is an opportunity to interact with the cadre through the national executive members. But after all, say whatever, now that the party is in power, it is equally important to communicate with the public, which is possible only through the cadre. And when it comes to the communicating with the cadre, of course, the first you have to communicate to the National Executive Committee members, who in turn will communicate to the cadre, who in turn will communicate with the general public, because it is not just performance of the government. In a free societies like ours, the public also should know why the government is doing something and what is the plan of the government. So many times the government is doing some good work, but people may not be able to understand what is the logic behind that. For instance, there are certain policy initiatives like allowing the foreign investment in the defense sector.
Yes.
and there is a communication gap. Now, as an economist, I know very well that it is in the overall interest of the country. But it is easy to what you call the mislead the people, saying that when it comes to the issues like the national security, why you are giving in the hands of the foreign investors, which is actually the baseless. So like that, there are so many issues which the government and the party how to take the matter to the public, so that the public, after all the elector, those who elect the government, should know why certain policy measures are initiated, how it will be in the going to the other.
Okay, we'll come to this meeting and what are they trying to communicate. We'll come to that. Professor Agrawal, this generational change has happened in this party, and now we see that somebody like L.K. Advani having to take a back seat. There are reports that he may not even speak in the conference, in the meeting in Bangalore. But we will wait and watch what happens finally. But as far as this meeting is concerned, you think that the party and the government is in tune?
I want to make a couple of observations in this regard. Generally speaking, generational change is a welcome thing in party or in family or anywhere. But in this particular context, Dr. Swetiger has made a very interesting observation that the periodicity of this National Executive Meeting has come down from 3 to 4 months to 10 months straight away. And there is a certain context for that. It is not just coincidence that this meeting is being dominated by land bill. And the Modi government, for the first time it seems, is feeling the need to go back to the cadre and to inspire cadre to go out in the streets and explain that its land bill is not actually anti-farmer as being alleged by the Congress and other opposition parties. The problem, however, here, Greece, is this, that on this particular land bill, I mean, this is my second point, BJP National Executive Meeting, to my mind, is taking place under a certain kind of pressure. They are meeting under a political pressure. All that bravado notwithstanding about having provided corruption-free government in last 10 months and all that. And incidentally, on this bravado of corruption-free government, the most interesting comment is in the visual. Mr. Yediyurappa is one of those who are lighting the lamps. So much for the non-corrupt government. So that's besides the point at the moment. The point is that, to my mind, this National Executive Meeting is taking place under a tremendous political pressure, immediately after the most humiliating defeat in Delhi. And then land bill, not only Congress, even Shiv Sena and Akali Dal, and in fact even Sangh Parivar, have made their opposition loud and clear on this land bill. The change which is reflected in this National Executive Meeting is more in the way the party will now onwards function than in the generational change. The party seems to be functioning unprecedentedly in the history of BJP in a very, very individual-centric manner, almost on the lines of a personality cult, where the top leader, the boss, the supremo, decides whatever he wants to decide, and then when there is a necessity, asks the organization to take down the message to the people. So this, I think, is the most interesting part of this National Executive Meeting.
Rakesh Sinha, would you agree with Purushottam Agarwal on this? That apart from the generational change, there is also a change in the way the party functions.
Look, you have to observe any political party in a particular context. First thing, that 2014 was an election year, and the BJP had to contest in the 2015 the Delhi election. Whenever there is an election, the organizational things remain suspended. It is a normal custom of every political party. Second thing, the party had decided to go for the become a largest political party in the world, and it has started a campaign, membership campaign, and it reached to almost more than 8 crores. So party has declared its national executive after the Delhi election. So there are two things were very important for the party. One was Delhi election, whether it wins or got defeated, that hardly matters. Second thing was the membership drive. Third thing, that party national executive were declared just a fortnight ago. So new national executive has had decided to have a first meeting here. So there is no conspiracy theory that it has come down. It is a special circumstances of 2014 and 15 which led a big periodicity between the two national executives. Second thing, whenever party meets, the members of national executive are the important and responsible people who are active in the state level, either state level or the central level. And you just have to compare it the Communist Party setup, CPM setup, where there is a Politburo and the Central Committee. The frequency of the meeting of Central Committee and Politburo is different. So here is the office bearers meeting. That is a larger body which meets very frequently. You just go in BJP office or you ask your BJP correspondent. He will tell you how this extended office bearers meeting takes place in the BJP headquarters. And the national executive is the second thing, because they are the people who are spread all over the country. So one should not see the conspiracy theory that the periodicity is being due to domination of or the generational change. These are not the factors. Second, generational change is a continuity with change. The people who are dominating the party and government, they have been trained under the Vajpayee-Advani era. The change has to take place. If you are not going for a change, you are not addressing the posterity. Here party is addressing not the present generation but addressing the posterity. This is the special feature of the Bharatiya Janata Party, which has a particular ideology, a cadre, and it is a part of a larger movement. So I think it is a folly to see that Bharatiya Janata Party drifting from its culture or the ideology.
You don't think so? Okay.
Just one point of clarification, then we will discuss things further. I am not talking of conspiracy. I am talking of change in attitude, which to my mind is much more serious than conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy, it's a complete change of attitude. It's kind of showing the organization its place. So it's not conspiracy. It's
what attitude? I just asked what attitude he is finding.
I'm talking of a certain kind of attitude, not of conspiracy.
He talks of a certain kind of attitude where the
individual oriented, personality cult. Some people have been describing the new
Vajpayee dominated. Girish.
No,
yes.
No. See, the
Girish
point...
ji, Vajpayee ji had dominated the party 2 decades. Nobody questioned that it was individualism. Every time,
come on. Vajpayee did not dominate the party. Mr. Modi dominated.
In CPM, CPI, General Secretary emerges. It is not the domination. It is individualism. Not individualism in the party.
Rakesh,
and nobody can think in terms of individualism in the RSS and BJP.
No, Rakesh, that's your point of view.
Why are you getting so agitated? You are not even a member of BJP, still you are getting agitated.
Purushottam Agarwal.
The former member of National
let me get Dr. Shettikar before I come to...
Rakesh. You are speaking as an anti-BJP person, so I'm just clarifying.
No, nobody is...
It's not conspiracy, it's a change of attitude.
Nobody is anti anything here.
Your whole attitude in all the debates is opposing the BJP and abusing the BJP.
Don't get agitated.
Rakesh, nobody is anti anything here. We are trying to analyze what the situation is.
No, it's not a question of agitation.
No, Professor Rakesh, let me get...
Rakesh, let me get... are sitting on the table and they are all opposed to the BJP. They are not objective. Rakesh is objective analysis of the BJP. BJP should not be...
No, Rakesh, let me get Professor Shettikar in. Professor Shettikar, would you agree with Rakesh Sinha that the domination which Professor Agarwal talks about, he says that it has always been there, it was earlier Vajpayee and now it is Modi. What is the big deal?
See, I would not like to go into the details of that. I am also surprised, the so-called the political analyst or the professor of political science, why he should get agitated and get emotional. In fact, I have been the part of the BJP for more than 22 years at the National Executive Committee member, apart from more than 4 decades of my association. Yeah. So I am not anti, I am actually, whatever I mentioned, not as an anti-BJP, it is in the interest of the party, why the party has lost a wonderful opportunity. It is not that, every time, the moment the president is elected, the first thing he does is that he announces the office bearers and the National Executive Committee is constituted within a fortnight. And then the meeting is called. And it is in the interest of the party. It is not that whatever you are discussing, it is in the interest of the party. This is the time when the party has to communicate with the general public. There are many issues. There is a communication gap. when I considered, in fact, I articulated why this foreign investment in the defense is required.
And also the
there
land...
are so many issues. There
no,
is
and the land bill which Professor Agarwal
again, the
spoke
land bill. Now, even those who are pushing so far, I mean, the point which has not come out is that why this controversy arose.
Yeah.
The controversy arose so because for more than 50 years, the government has been functioning under 1894 Land Acquisition Act mooted by the British government, which has not been misused. But it started misusing mostly under the Congress government, during the UPA government, by helping the private promoters to acquire the land. That is, since 2006, when the SEZ Act was started getting implemented.
Right.
But when the SEZ Act concept was implemented, conceptualized by the Vajpayee government, only 18 SEZ was to be set up. As against that, the UPA government approved as many as 491. This resulted in the land acquisition.
Absolutely. Professor Shettigar, that's a separate, actually that's a separate debate actually altogether. Nilab, how do you look at this national executive? You think that what Professor Agarwal was talking about, do you see you have also observed BJP for years now, do you also see a shift in the attitude, a kind of a completely different culture coming into the party?
Well, part of it is a different culture coming into the realm of public discourse, political discourse. Now you have some parallel structures, and I think BJP, because our focus is now on BJP because it is the ruling party, but this discourse is driven now by technology, certain kind of technology, which makes for one-way communication. It's not interactive. And it has spawned parallel structures. For instance, the whole of BJP's election campaign was run from several parallel structures. One was centered in Mumbai, of techies. The other was centered on NRIs, with NRIs coming into it. The one center was the traditional party workers. The other center who had emerged from the rough and tumble of the ground level politics of the 90s. And there was another structure of the old time RSS cadres, which went door to door. So you had these parallel structures and there was nothing left to chance. And much of the communication is now through either electronic media or social media, which is again a one-way communication strategy. What the political sector in India is witnessing, and which I think is also in an overall sense very dangerous for Indian democracy, is that it is not a feedback culture. It is a subjective culture, So you have a spokesperson trained in certain, of various parties, in certain talking points, and they just go on repeating like parrots.
Right.
On each TV channel you will find the same arguments, the same thing, and no new way of looking at things, no fresh way of looking at things. So what happens is, it's a one-way communication. Now, if political parties and if democracy in this country, whether of any political party, has to, take roots, then it has to have within this technology also, because now we cannot change that technology. There is no rolling back.
Yes.
You can't do away with electronic media, you can't do away with social media, but you have to find not parrots, but people who dialogue within that system. And if, granted that, say, the party was in election mode and therefore there was no executive meeting. But then, was there any other parallel structure of getting feedback from the ordinary workers? I'm not talking of office bearers who can fit into a room or on a table like this. Five people sitting together. So it gives, it gives an oligarchy a center stage in decision making. It's not, whereas previously party structures functioned from below right up to the above.
Now it is,
and there was a
now it is a top down. Now it's a top. Would you agree with that,
process?
Professor Shettigar? Would you agree with that? That the processes have become, instead of especially a party like BJP with a strong cadre base and things like that, it has now become top down instead of bottoms up.
I mean, it is very difficult to come to an analysis because if what appears is that the domination or the influential of single person, now which is normally, I mean, there is not the culture of the party, especially which has come from the Sangh culture or the Sangh cadre.
Collective leadership, you took pride in collective leadership.
But then you cannot blame on organization. After all, it is the Indian society or the culture which looks at a individual person, not at the organization.
Okay.
It's an unfortunate thing. But no, as far as the decision-making process is concerned, for instance, on the Land Acquisition Act, a lot of feedback has come up from the bottom. And that is why the party actually reviewed the issue. The party, in fact, has constituted a committee to look into that, and most of the amendments mooted. I think the 9 amendments.
9 amendments which were passed in the Lok Sabha.
It is mainly because of the feedback from the ground level.
You wanted to, I want to go to Rakesh on this.
Yeah, just to make 2 points.
Yes.
One, to add to what Neela was saying. This tax-savvy environment has also led to a rather interesting situation. And I'm not just talking about BJP, by the way. That you just give a missed call and you become member of the party. This is most amazing thing so far as I can imagine for a political formation, because when you join a political party, you actually endorse a certain political program.
Right.
You certainly endorse a political ideology.
Right.
This can happen only in the parties which want to deliberately reduce themselves to just the cult of personality. Cult of personality.
Cult of personality.
That I admire this man, I am a fan of this man, I am a supporter of this man, and hereby I can join the party. That is one. That is one. The second point I wish to make is this, that this is precisely the point I was trying to make. That you bring forward a certain land acquisition bill or the amendment to the old bill without actually taking the feedback from your organization, and then you are forced, because of the dissidents within the organization, to bring the amendments. And you also unwittingly gave a new lease of life to your opposition.
To the
That's
rivals.
very interesting.
Okay. Well, Rakesh, 2 points. One is about the dominance of technology, in parties, and especially because BJP has taken the lead in using technology, which by and large nobody should have a problem with that. But when you say that we are the largest political party using this kind of technology, and as Purushottam Agarwal says that becoming a member of a political party is not about giving just a missed call.
BJP has a structure from ground level to the central level, and every stage the party meets regularly, frequently, and the national leaders and state leaders visits the lower units, and lower units leaders interact with the higher units. So there is no question of one-way traffic in the party. Secondly, technology is not merely used by leadership. Technology is moreover used by the cadres, and the party has system to get the feedbacks from the cadres through the technology. Their party has a special cell for that. People don't know from outside how party functions. Party has a training program, and party has been organizing a massive level training program of the people who are joining the party. And it is not merely the missed call. By the missed call, you are becoming registering you as a member, but you are not becoming the member. Party interacts with those people. Party gives the feedback. Party fills the form. They sign. They take the oath of the party discipline, party membership, party ideology. It is a long process. It is the first step that you give a missed call, you get registered, the party moves on. This is the party of the cadres. This is not the party of the leaders. So it has large number of cadres to visit the new members.
Rakesh, I have another question. Now see, after being out of power for 10 years, now the party is in power with a firm majority. Now, don't you agree that the challenge now is to ensure that there is good coordination between the government and the party? And do you think that there lies the challenge?
Yes, definitely. Every party should have a good relationship with the government, and party and organization should have a coordination committee, and that's why every cabinet minister of Modi government sits in the party office a day in a week, and they have to interact with the cadres. Even in the ministry, they are inviting the cadres once in a week. This is the best methodology party has adopted to have interaction with the ground level workers. In party also there is a I think sahyog or something like that, a term is used, where the party cadres are solicited in their in the governance. I mean, Mr. Jagdish Setikar must be knowing that party has made this swing long ago. That is still functioning.
Okay.
So there is no question that individual is dominating.
Okay,
Look,
let me get Professor Setikar.
Last sentence.
Yes.
BJP has expanded and it has a successful leader, so that's why Narendra Modi is dominating the political scenario of the country.
Okay.
Yesterday there was a survey by a TV channel, India Today, and it showed that Narendra Modi is the most popular man in this country.
Okay. Professor Setikar, would you agree with him on that? This coordination between the government and the party. You were a very important member at the time when the first NDA government was there. What kind of problems you faced then, and what kind of problems you think will be faced now?
No, in fact, the most challenging situation for any party is when it is the power.
Right.
Because many a times the government has to take a decision which may not be accepted by the people, because it may not be populistic in nature.
And which should
so
not be
that is a
expected
challenging
inside
time.
the party also.
In fact, I do remember that a couple of times we made the government to roll back certain policy initiatives on the basis of the feedback we got from the cadre. So it is very important to have a sort of coordination mechanism. I think recently with the Sangh Parivar and the party, they have met recently, I think a week back and all. But the frequency should be more of such meetings. But as far as the Sahyog cell is concerned, that is mainly to a mechanism to collect what you call the fund support from the members. Actually, the members have to contribute to the party. So that is one method. Those who are sympathetic to
the party,
though they are not members, they can contribute to the party.
So it's essentially a funding mechanism.
It's a transparent method of
funding mechanism.
Funding mechanism.
Okay, but Nilab, you know, after this meeting, you think that as far as the older generation of leadership like Mr. Advani or Murli Manohar Joshi is concerned, their marginalization will be complete?
It was obvious from the very beginning. Look, I have a different take on this. The take is this, that as far as BJP is concerned, or cadre-oriented parties are concerned, like the left parties and the BJP, what is happening is, suddenly the country is turning into a mass culture-based, the whole civilization is turning into a mass culture-based civilization, popular culture-based civilization. And there, playing to the gallery is becoming important. Yeah. So you raise things which play to the gallery rather than to your own, your own ideological upbringing, or things evolving out of ground level realities. Ideologies also change, but then they take into account the ground level realities when they change.
Yes.
What is happening here is, take for instance this Modi phenomena. What has happened? The strength of the BJP was limited all these years. Suddenly a new group of people who had no connection with the BJP, a new age group, a new set of people, a new kind of India, for instance NRIs, there was always presence of Sangh Parivar among the NRIs. But then the NRIs who came in, they were different from the old Sangh Parivar kind of NRIs.
So the culture is changing.
The people working in the corporate sector, or people,
IT sector,
or the aspirational lower middle class, middle class. These were the new people who were coming into it. And I have a feeling that what is happening now is that instead of a balance, look, Gopal Krishna Gandhi...
We are running out of time completely.
Recently, in 2 sentences I would finish, recently wrote an article in the context of Aam Aadmi Party, which said, while you need, a Lok Sabha for an organization, a people-centric approach, you also need a council of elders, a Rajya Sabha kind of thing, who could be your conscience keeper, which the Aam Aadmi Party failed to resolve
Right.
in this.
And
That thing is happening with the BJP on a much larger scale.
Okay, I
Party is turning into a mirror image of the leader and the government.
okay, very quickly, sir. Just last one.
No,
Very quickly.
Just one thing, that Rajya Sabha could have been Margdarshak Mandal, but as a matter of fact, Margdarshak Mandal, the so-called Margdarshak Mandal, is doing everything except showing mark. And
Okay,
nobody is
I
willing to
think-
listen to them.
Okay, I
So
think
that
on
is very
note,
clear.
On that note, we need to end. We're completely run out of time. But it is interesting that, as my panelists say, that the culture is changing, that maybe it is changing according to the needs of the time. We'll have to wait and watch how this will all evolve. But the meeting, which is still on and it will continue till tomorrow also, is worth waiting and watching. Thanks to all my guests. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue of the big picture. Same time on Monday. Meanwhile, have a great weekend.